sampling and surveys, we're going to be talking about different types of samples, different types of issues that can occur when you are sampling. So this is, I know in the last video I said that we were going to figure out ways to do a random sample. I lied. That's 4.4, not 4.3. So anyways, so in 4.3, we're going to assume that you know how to create a random sample. And even when you do your best sampling methods, there is still a way that your data can be biased. There is still a way where your sample doesn't include everyone that it was supposed to. And in this section of the notes, we're going to learn what those reasons could be. So for the first one, we're talking about undercoverage. So undercoverage occurs when some members of the population are less likely or cannot be chosen for the sample. I'll fix that. There we go. So an example of this would be that maybe during the school wants to do a survey. So school wants to survey why people are late every day, or why people are late to school. But they do the survey during first period. The survey, let's say maybe the first 10 minutes of first period. Okay, now you kind of have to think, is anyone being left out? So if they're doing a survey over why people are typically late to school, and they're doing it the first 10 minutes of first period, they're missing out on a lot of people. And so that's called undercoverage, because they are less likely or cannot be chosen for the sample because they are not at school. So they cannot be chosen because they are not there. So the next one, jumping gears, this next one is called non-response. There we go. Sorry. Yep, there we go. Non-response. And it is kind of what you think about, or what you think it is. It occurs when an individual chosen for the sample cannot be contacted or refuses to participate. So an example of this would be people who hang up during phone surveys. So there are people that have jobs where their job is to call different phone numbers and to get people to answer their survey. So an example of a non-response would be people who hang up the phone, who hang up or don't answer. Don't answer. This could also be people who just walk away from the person giving the survey. This could also be just people who are handed the survey and don't fill it out. It's not that they weren't included, it's that they didn't respond. They decided that this survey just wasn't a thing they wanted to do, and so they just didn't do it. And that's called non-response when that happens. Now the third kind, that is called a response bias. Okay, so response bias occurs when there is a consistent pattern of inaccurate responses to a survey. So this would be like saying that our example for this is the principal does the survey over people who are absent. Does survey of people who are absent. I'm going to put tardy/absent. Now, whenever she asks these people who are typically tardy or absent, why they are tardy or absent, they're likely going to give her some kind of excuse. They're either going to give her an excuse, or they're going to claim that they are never tardy to begin with. So they're going to deny. And this leads to a response bias. Typically, response biases are found when the person giving the survey kind of influences your decision of how you want to answer the survey. So if it's someone, like let's say it's an animal activist against deer hunting, and you really like hunting for whatever reason, and they ask you, oh, did you know that this many deer die, and they're trying to guilt trip you into answering the survey a certain way so that whenever you finally do answer the survey, you're going to give an untruthful answer. What I like to say about response bias is that these are the people who are going to lie on your surveys. These are your liars. So whenever you have a bunch of people lying about their true results, that is called response bias. Now, all of these can happen regardless of how you get your samples. If you have the best sampling method, all three of these things can still happen to you. No matter how hard you try, there is a chance that your data can still be biased. And these are the three typical reasons as to why your data would still be biased, even though you did a random sample. And that is all for 4.3.